Hello, and welcome to the W.A.I.T channel. What Am I Thinking? A podcast where two sisters share uplifting conversations on fun and sometimes serious topics.
Join us each week by clicking the notification bell and subscribing to our channel. If you enjoy the show, use the share link. It's one of the best ways to expand the conversation.
Hello and welcome back to What Am I Thinking? So today we are going to tackle a topic that we actually talk about every time we do Bravo, just not in this sense. And the question is, are the Real Housewives actually real? So, how do you want to tackle this, Tracy? Because we talk about this all the time when we are watching these different Bravo shows. And
what I would say, Lori, though, is not are they really real, but are they still real?
Are they still real? Okay.
Yeah, because truly I believe they started out with the intention to just show their lives. But we know that as you watch other shows, as you begin to do your own taping, that your sense of how you want yourself to be seen can change.
Yeah.
And I believe that is what has happened with the Real Housewives. And they get relationships with producers who I'm sure tell them things, or that they allow themselves to get in the producer's ears. And so that's where the process gets tainted. So when they break that fourth wall or third wall or whatever the wall is that they break, with the producers, when they talk directly to the producers during taping, that to me shows a level of comfort and familiarity. And I know they have to trust the producers to open up and share, but I believe the producers end up sometimes drinking the Kool-Aid of the cast, certain cast members. And some are better at it than others, and some it takes them a minute to understand what the game is. But as a viewer, I don't like it.
You know, I had heard, I had heard, and I'm not sure if it was the Bravo Bros. I'm not sure who I heard this from, but you know, there was this argument out there, basically stating, and I remember Robin, she also spoke to this about how everybody kind of holds back different sides or different things in their life. They don't have to put everything out there on the table. So, you know, okay, so that's an argument. Okay, you can say that. But then what about the fact that it's called Real Housewives? It is a reality show. You are getting paid. No one forced you to do this. You're getting paid to show your real life. And in doing so, what that actually meant was that when the camera showed up, whatever was going on, that's what's filmed. But over time, it has morphed into something else that has allowed these stars, if you want to call them that, to now get in their minds, well, I can pick and choose what I want to be filmed. Or we can have like game day in the park. And come on, guys, you can film this. So now it's not just the actors or the housewives that are part of this manipulation of what real actually means. They're pulling the producers into it also. And now we as the viewers, you know, I want to ask, are we being hoodwinked? Are we being force-fed something and we're not really getting reality? What do you think?
Well, so we know that there's some aspects of it that have to be staged. So they're not just showing up at a restaurant randomly meeting. They have to get the paperwork signed, get permissions, and all that kind of stuff. So I get that part of it. However, there needs to be a sense of, don't continue to manipulate the audience. You know, there's another franchise out there that some stuff is coming out, and it's on one of the major networks. And there was an incident where the person got COVID, and they were overseas in London, but it came out that some of the stuff, and this stuff could have actually happened in London, but everybody was saying, if the person has COVID, who's in the room with him? He wasn't self-filming, you know, and so it came out that they reshot some stuff back in California. And it was conversations that probably were had and things, but it probably happened over the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they wanted the visual to happen, so they reshot it. Well, you know, I understand that, but you can just even if you put a disclaimer at the bottom or something, you know that there really are no secrets in Hollywood in the business anymore, because people talk, and what it does is it makes me feel that you feel as a viewer that I'm less than smart.
Yeah.
And true enough, reality TV is a guilty pleasure for me, and it is something that I don't have to, not like, you know, my shows that I love where I like to be challenged and I want my brain to be thinking. I don't want to have to guess, did these girls have a meeting before the season started and plan to do this to this person? I don't want to have to, you know, deal with that kind of stuff. But we know it goes back to Real Housewives of New York with Jill Zarin and Bethany, and Jill trying to get all the cast members to sort of blackball Bethany and not tape with her. And guess who ends up getting off the show? It is Jill, and Bethany was the one that survived, getting her own show. That backfired on her, but that doesn't always happen. That's not always the way it plays out. So when you think about the manipulation, I would rather include me in and see how I like it. If this is who you are, this is who we want to see. If you are feeling like Chris and Candace are a little bit getting there and she's doing her career and you want to bring them down a notch, guess what? Go ahead and be open about that. Don't do it with your hands behind your back and then act as if you haven't done anything. I really wanted to go through the screen and shake Giselle for acting as if, which we talked about this before, you know, when you talked about it on the whole semantics of, you know, did he do anything to you, or did he just make you feel some kind of way? Girl, you know the difference. Quit acting like you don't know that you used your words to hurt someone. Sneaky link, all that stuff. Ashley telling you about his text. Well, guess what? When you knew he was working at the W, so you could have debunked that text with Ashley yourself instead of using it as an excuse to hurt someone. So that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, if you want to really continue, well, let's not even talk about Housewives, because there are fewer and fewer housewives on the Housewives on some of these franchises. So, but we're going to focus on the word real. We'll leave Housewife alone for this episode. So tell me, what you know, because as great as the Potomac producers are with showing us the footage and not making us have to wait till the reunion to see and know stuff, they are not great at letting the talent be the talent and stop trying to weigh in on the producing. So what do you think, Lori?
I agree wholeheartedly with that. And you said something that it just kind of stuck out to me, that the show for you, it's a guilty pleasure and you don't want to have to dig in deep and figure things out. Well, I think it started out as a guilty pleasure, but viewers now that are watching it are smarter. And the things that you might have been able to pull over our eyes, let's say 7 or 10 years ago, that doesn't work anymore. And when we're sitting and we're watching things and it's not adding up, or it seems contrived, or you have these storylines that it's like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, wait a minute, something's not adding up. Well, if it's not adding up, it probably is something that you guys scripted, you tried to pull together, you're trying to help with storylines. You're not just letting it. I don't care that you get in contact with the restaurant and you say, okay, you two are going to meet, blah, 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 and you might talk about blah, 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 blah. But let it be organic. Don't let it be that you are pulling people together because, no, they really don't have a storyline, but they're making stuff up. That's where I really have a problem with that. And speaking about one particular franchise that you spoke about in this particular house, and she's not a wife, I really don't like when you could do the work, producers, to figure out, is something real or is it not? When something can damage a person's livelihood, their reputation, now you're getting dangerous. And I don't like that. And I won't watch that. Now, I can turn on the news to see stuff like that.
Right. So I just feel as if we're at a tipping point, especially for the Potomac franchise, because the trust with the viewers has been lost, and it's been lost within the cast. And they're going to have to do a lot to repair that. And one of the ways that it may happen is by changing who shows up for next season. And I know that's going to be difficult for them. What I'm hearing is I think they want to try and push through with the existing cast and give them an opportunity to course correct. But we're not playing games.
No.
If they're not going to be real about it, and I mean real, not all this cutesy stuff.
Because we know they are
open.
They're not friends.
Yeah.
We know this. You're not friends. And even with
well, they're not all of them. So
right.
Bill and Robin are friends.
Yes,
we can say that, and that's probably about it. I think Candace thought she was friends with Robin, learned that she was not. Ashley is friends with whoever is going to benefit her at the moment. Wendy has realized she doesn't have any real friends in the group, but would like to forge one with Candace. That would be a good duo if they could really build a real friendship. I think her and Eddie, Chris and Candace, I think they could have a good time together. That would be great. We had two friends, Mia and Jackie, on the show. Saw that didn't go so well. So do your due diligence to have at least authentic relationships on the show as best you can. And for, I'm going to look at Giselle side-eyed for most things, because you're going to tell me you don't have the moral fiber within you to care when someone is assaulted, because throwing that purse and throwing the water on Wendy was assault. That's unwanted touch, and she don't care. She has no bandwidth to care because she don't like Wendy. Well, why don't you like Wendy? Because Wendy has read you and put you in your place.
Amen.
Like I wish some people would do a little more often when you get out of pocket. And she has been out of pocket a lot. But the reverse can happen. somebody even mentions something related to her relationship, Sherman, Jamal, whomever, she cannot take it. She is thin-skinned. She can't take it, but she loves to dish it out. So what I say to you producers, let's get it right. Let's have real life things happening. And guess what? Let it be punitive. You guys have done that before with Kenya doing her little secret wedding. She got more than a slap on the wrist for that. So when you know they are lying on camera, hiding things from you, and we find out any stuff that's happening post-show that should have been brought out real time, I think it's time to penalize them, and they'll either get off the show or stop doing that crap. What do you think, Lori?
I'm 100% on board with that. I'm 100%. The paychecks are too big. You know, if an actor shows up for their call time, they're flubbing their lines, this is repeated, the director may look to the casting director and say, I think we need to recast. If they can have the same consequences and penalties, then what is any different? It's not any different for these housewives. I'm at the point where I don't want to hear lies. That's fiction. I can read a book. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm tuning in for reality. And if it's at that place where you can't give us reality anymore, then change it. Please take the real out, and then I'll know I am watching a scripted show. Let me make that choice. I don't need you to make it for me. That's how I feel.
I agree. So what do you all think? Are you all feeling that the Real Housewives are still real? Or do you feel that there's fakery, pretend, plot, planning? And how do you feel about it? Go ahead and please make comments. Make sure you let us know what you are thinking. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please subscribe to our channel. Go ahead and make sure you never miss an episode by ringing the bell, setting the whatever it is you need to do to stay tuned and stay connected with the W.A.I.T channel. So thank you for listening, and please make sure you tune in next week.
Bye-bye.